Hey everybody, welcome back to the Carry and Cut YouTube channel. Hey, if you're new here, sure do appreciate you stopping by and watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and check out our Instagram at Carry and Cut and our Patreon at Carry and Cut. All the proceeds from the Patreon are going to go directly back to the channel to buy new equipment and new knives to hopefully make the quality and the content better for you guys. So today we're going to be disassembling and doing some maintenance on this Ganzo fh41. So before we get into that, we're going to give Jimmie Crowe a shout out. This wouldn't be possible without him. He sends a lot of these knives in for us to take a look at least the recent uploads have been coming from him. So this is definitely awesome. So Jimmie, buddy, sure do appreciate all the help and all the support. Couldn't do it without you. So like I said, we got the tools out here. We're going to be doing a disassembly on this one. It's going to be a pretty easy one. Should be pretty straightforward. Just another liner lock. So we'll get digging into this thing and see what we got here. We're going to need two drivers, T6 and T8. So it's definitely, liner locks are my favorite to take apart. Of course, they're going to be pretty easy in nature. So let's go ahead and get these T6s out of this pocket clip. Get this thing ripped right out of there. Like I said, it's always a good idea to know what you're, not necessarily what you're doing, but putting your screws back where they come from. It's going to help you in the long run if you get into disassembling your knives. And I definitely think that anybody that owns pocket knives should definitely not be afraid to take them apart and mess with them, do whatever you want to do, get into doing your own modding or just using them. And you guys are spending your hard-earned money on this stuff, so it's nice to be able to take stuff apart and be able to enjoy it for as long as you can. So let's go ahead and get this block off plate out of there. Get your other T6 out. Sometimes they're a little stubborn. So that one so far is going to be the same exact size as I don't know how exactly that one comes out of there. We'll get this thing taken apart and we'll figure it out. So, alright, let's go ahead and rip these T6 screws out of here for the back spacer. It's looking like these are all going to be the same size. So I always like to put them in a certain spot and at least an orientation how I'm going to know I'm going to put them back together. Because sometimes you get into knives that have all sorts of different sizes, at least not sizes, but lengths of screws. So that's going to be an issue, something you want to look into, or at least pay attention to when you're going and taking these things apart. So if you guys missed the review on this knife, it should be on the channel. So go ahead and feel free to take a look at that one or pause and go back and look into it if you'd like to. It's definitely a pretty cool knife. For the price for what you're getting is pretty unbelievable. Still can understand how they're managing to get the prices on these so low. Okay, so our show side, there's one liner. There's gonna be our over travel stop, or whatever you want to call it, stop pin. You got those aren't even ceramic bearings, those are, looks like steel bearings in the pivot, so that's pretty cool to see. There's your back spacer. Get that turkey out of there. Alright. So we got a blade, a pivot. Get this stuff out of here for now. There is our other bearing. Yeah, this thing is squeaky clean. Nothing crazy going on inside this one, that's for sure. Let's give this a little wipe down here before we get ready for back for assembly. Gotta love it. Right. So once we get everything taken off here, get everything cleaned up, I like to go ahead and take some alcohol and some cotton swabs, at least get all that oil. Sorry guys. Get all that oil out of the pivot and grease and whatever else it comes with. Looks like this one was definitely, of course, fairly well maintained. Definitely not dirty whatsoever. There wasn't even a speck of dirt inside this thing, so love to see that. There's a good shot of the D10 ball right there. That's going on. So it's nice to see that. If any of you guys are ever interested in like the anatomy of a knife or anything like that, we could definitely do one of those videos. I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't know how many new people we have in the viewers, I guess you could say, but definitely would love to help anybody out that had any questions. Looks like a little bit of dye came off there. A little crazy, never seen that one happen yet. Alright, let's go ahead and get that. I still don't understand what exactly that's called, if that is the race or what that is for these bearings. It's just wherever the bearings ride at on the actual blade itself. I don't know that proper terminology, at least. So there's a good idea where that your detent goes on there to the blade. It's where it kind of locks in. Pretty cool to see. So we got 2 liners. Of course, one of them is going to have your actual liner lock on it. Backspacer. It's got your screws to hold that in. You got 2 scales, 2 bearings. All your T6 body screws, T8 pivot, stop pin. And of course, this is for our little lockout plate, which I'm just going to go ahead and thread this one back in here so I'm not confused about which screws go where. Oh, that threads right into the... No, that's pretty cool. Can't even do it. It threads right into the liner right there. So I guess we're going to have to worry about that one here in a minute. That is my bad. You learn as you go, that's for sure. Oh, there came out that blockout plate right there. So, pretty cool. Let's go ahead and throw that one right back in. Worry about that one in a second. Alright, let's go get ready for assembly. So I like to throw down our scale that's not the liner lock yet. That's typically what I do. Just like so. Let's go ahead and throw our pivot in there. Let's throw some KPL. I like this stuff. All the forgot to mention that all the tools that I have in here, they're going to be linked down in the description below. If you guys like to check the tools out, I sure do greatly appreciate it. Definitely don't have to do it, but it does help the channel if you guys would like to purchase some of the stuff that I have linked down in the description. So let's get some oil in there. Make sure everything's running nice and smooth. At this point, I like to throw in my stop pin. We could throw our blade in like so. Perfect. Throw some oil on this side here. I like to put just a dab where that detent ball is going to be riding too. Alright. Now for our actual, throw our backspacer in at this point too. And we could have flipped this knife over and locked in at least the liner to the scale with that backspacer, but for now, let's just go ahead and clip this thing together. Just like so. Another one of my favorite part about liner locks, they are super easy to put back together, so gotta love that. Alright, let's go ahead and run our pivot in. Just nothing crazy yet. We're not going to be going tight. Just enough to get everything locked together for the most part. Make sure we got the right one. Yep. Not the right one. There we go. Make sure we got our T8. Really nice oversized pivots too. So just a little bit of blue Locktite on it. Nothing crazy. We don't have to go too wild with it. Like I say, just a pocket knife. We're not cranking down a 32mm bolt or nothing like that. So, okay. Just enough to get it started. Now we can go ahead and go on in with our screws here. A little finicky sometimes. Body screws, they're going to get a little bit of Loctite also. Don't want them coming out on them. Like I say, we'll do a final tighten down here once we get everything working good, get the knife flipping again, and we'll go around and make sure everything's tight, everything we like how it looks, centering's all good before we go getting too crazy with it. At this point, we're going to go ahead and throw our screw into our block off plate there. I got a little bit of Loctite on there. Alright, back over to this side. A little more Locktite. And just like so. Got one more. Okay. Go ahead and snug our pivot down just a little bit more. Alright. Back him off just a little bit. Get a little bit more. Alright, centering looks pretty good on there. Let's go ahead and tighten down all the rest of our T6s on the body here. Make sure those are nice and snug. Then we'll check our centering again and our action before we throw our pocket clip on. Alright, centering looks pretty much dead on, right on the money. Oh yeah, that's nice. Pretty incredible action for $25. You know, almost fall shut. Just a little bit of help. You know, our lockup's still pretty good. If I wouldn't even mind to have that going a little bit more, but not going to complain. You could go and bend that over a little more if you wanted to, but of course, obviously this is not my knife, so I'm just going to put it back to original spec, just how I got it. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of Loctite on these clip screws for Jimmie here. I just like to get a little bit on there. That's kind of the lazy way to do it, but should work just fine. Just got a little bit on there. Would have been nice to see him do some flush mounted screws here, at least recessed in. Good rule of thumb when you're working with these T6s also, you definitely don't want to strip them out. Be super careful. I always like to start with a little bit of, you know, loosening to get the thread set just right before you start cranking on anything. And they don't have to be super tight. That's where the Loctite comes into play. You know, they're not going to rattle loose or nothing like that. So, all right, centering's right on point. Flipping action's awesome. Action on the close is awesome too. So all right guys, this should work for pretty much any liner lock knife too, so don't be discouraged if I don't do the exact knife you guys have. Go back and look at some of the other videos I got. I don't have any frame locks yet, which they're coming. I'm going to be doing some frame lock videos. I got some, I don't know if I have a compression lock yet, but I'm going to do my PM2 disassembly also, and a whole bunch of Benchmade axis locks and even some button locks too. So stay tuned for more, and until next time guys, appreciate it.